Hey friends, welcome back to MINIMALISM, a channel where I like to talk about minimizing, decluttering, and living your best life. Today, I'm going to be talking about 10 things that I got rid of when I was first starting out on my journey of minimalism and how hopefully that can help you too to kind of categorize places that you can start decluttering, especially if you're just starting out or if you've gotten really comfortable with what you have, but you want to reassess and maybe get rid of a little bit more. I'm hoping this video can help you out. And if you enjoy videos about decluttering and minimizing, please remember to hit subscribe so that my next video coming out next week will pop up on your channel as you're scrolling through. As I really began thinking about how I started my decluttering journey, it began kind of chaotically, but I also knew that I really wanted a goal of living more simply because I just felt really overwhelmed and stressed in my life, and everything was just becoming a little bit too much. So I began reading a lot of books and watching a lot of YouTubes and listening to podcasts about people decluttering, and these are kind of the 10 places where I began. So number one is where probably you've heard many times, and I kind of learned it from Marie Kondo. One of the first things she talks about is decluttering your own clothes, and that's definitely where I began. As I live in a household with other people, I had a hard time thinking about what else I could really get rid of that was just mine and personal, and I had full control of all the decisions. So clothing was a good place for me to start. I also had an exorbitant amount of clothes, and it was ridiculous, and I felt like, one, I never found anything to wear. Two, every time a new thing would come up, I'd have to get a new outfit, or nothing I had in my closet would work, or if I was going out with friends, I didn't have anything to wear, and I was constantly buying, but then also going in my closet and feeling like there was nothing there. So really decluttering my clothes has been a journey. I mean, it's probably taken me the longest amount of time. I may have started it first, but really it's taken me about a year to get where I am now. And it's been a really good journey. I mean, I think I've learned a lot about my personal style, and I've learned a lot about what I enjoy wearing, the kinds of fabrics I like, and right now I'm really trying to also discover shoes and kind of shoes I like. I think I'm going through like a different journey with that, where I used to buy really cheap shoes, and now, especially as I'm getting older, I'm really looking for shoes that I find stylish but also extremely comfortable. So that's a journey for me also. But clothing was definitely where I started, and now I will link a few of the videos I've made about my minimalist wardrobe. I keep all my clothes in my closet, and I try to keep them very minimal. And I found that as I actually have less clothes, I feel like I can go in my closet and find more outfits, which doesn't seem to make sense, but it will once you start decluttering them. So the second thing that I started getting rid of was my fake plants, my picture frames, and a bunch of like random knickknacks I had around my house. I used to love the look, and I thought it felt warm when I just had tons of stuff around, picture-wise, and fake plants and plants in general, and it's great. And I still have a lot of real plants, but I'm talking about all those fake plants that I would buy from Target or Home Goods. And I just realized that they, one, collected a lot of dust. I don't like dusting. And it just became a thing that I didn't feel super proud of in my house. Like, when I have a real plant, I have to take care of it. I have to look after it. I don't know. It's like, it becomes my little baby. But these fake ones, I didn't have a real attachment to. It was just more something that I threw up there and then had to worry about dusting it later. So those kind of things, the tchotchkes and the knickknacks, were definitely the next thing that I got rid of, because I also could have my own personal style. My husband didn't super care about most of the rooms in our house, and so he let me do what I wanted, and I never had to ask him. I think it's really easy to declutter your own things, and if you want to start there and not have to always ask the other person or ask someone who's living with you, it just makes life a little easier, especially when you're still exploring the things that you feel comfortable getting rid of. The next thing that I get rid of, number 3, was extra furniture. And that was something that I did have a lot of discussion with my husband about, and my daughter also. And I do feel like it really lightened the house. Once we started getting rid of furniture, which I still have one piece of furniture that I'm going to get rid of. My husband has agreed to it, and we're just looking for the right time to get rid of it. And I just feel like when you have less furniture, or should I say when you just have what you need or really want, it makes the whole house feel lighter. One, it's easier to clean your house because you don't have to get around so many things. You don't have to dust as many big, pieces around your house. So it really helped me to feel alleviated from all the cleaning burden that I had in my house, is just having less furniture around to have to deal with. So number 4 is rugs, and I've had some pushback on this, and it's of course one of those things that it's up to you how you feel and how you live your life. But I had a really hard time with the rugs that personally I had, especially those shag rugs. One, I found them really complicated to clean for myself unless I was going to get them professionally done, which I didn't want to spend my money on that. And then I also just had a hard time cleaning them in general, especially the ones that were under my bed. And I have beautiful hardwood floors, so I am very lucky with that, and I don't feel like I really need to hide them. Now, we haven't gotten rid of all of our rugs because we do have dogs, so I keep small rugs for my animals that they like to use to lay on. They like to use them to hop onto things that they want to get on. So they have their own little rugs, but these are ones that are easy for me to take out. Now, downstairs, we are less fortunate, and we have a really ugly whole room carpet that we just don't feel like exchanging yet for something else. We don't feel like getting rid of it yet because it's not technically completely destroyed, or it doesn't stink or anything like that. So it just feels like kind of like a waste of money to change it at this moment, especially with some traveling we want to do instead. So rugs are one of those things that use them when you feel like you need to, or maybe get, I've heard the ruggable rugs are really nice, the washable ones. That's kind of like what I have. I have these small ones, and they can be washed in the washing machine. So that's just another way that has made my life easier. Getting rid of the really heavy rugs that are difficult to clean, especially the shag ones, has really alleviated my need to clean all the time and trying to get that dog hair out of my rugs. Number 5 is books, and I know I've had several comments about, you're a teacher, how could you get rid of books? Don't you love books? And of course the answer is yes, but in my actual house, my daughter, she has the bulk of the books, but we're very lucky we have a little library. We have 3 in our neighborhood, and so there is no need to hang on to books constantly. We also have our local library right near us, and my daughter goes to school now, so she gets library books from the library. So I'm actually looking at them right now. I have 5 books that I keep personally. 2 of them are very sentimental because my grandfather wrote in them, and then the other ones I just find extreme value from, and I really enjoy them. And if I was to find another book that I found extreme value from, I would add to it. So I'm not saying there's a certain number, but I just don't like having too many around because I just find that I can read it and find value from it on an Audible, or I can read it and find value from it from the library and not have to spend the money on it, and just be able to reuse that resource, or then put it in our little library and let other people enjoy it. So have as many books as you want. If that's your thing, totally enjoy it. It's just one of those things that's not really my thing. I enjoy reading them and then sending them back for somebody else. The next thing is craft supplies. So with craft supplies, I did declutter a lot. I think the problem with craft supplies is that when you get too many, you end up just not using them, and then they go bad. I mean, once you open certain things, they just shouldn't be sitting out forever, and I just found that my daughter would get overwhelmed by the craft supplies. And so what I've done is I've given her some that she always has out. She always has out a pair of scissors, glue, stickers, and paper. She also has like pipe cleaners. There's a few other things that I keep in a small bag in the closet, like little puff balls and stuff, if we're going to do something more specific or if she wants to change it up a little. But I just don't have boxes and boxes of crafts like I used to have, thinking that I would, go back to them and then I'm just storing them forever. I just don't feel the need to keep that kind of stuff forever. Number 7 are all those extra storage container boxes. We have a few in our attic that we keep our very special stuff, like my wedding dress I haven't gotten rid of yet, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be there ever. We'll see. And then we also have some holiday supplies that we like to keep out, just a minimal amount, but we don't want them out in our general area all the time. So we do have a few, just all those extra boxes. I used to have just like baskets around all over the house for random toys or whatever. And for me personally, it became too overwhelming to keep up with all these baskets. If you are using this basket as your like catch-all basket, and that's gonna be your one basket for that, then that I think is a great idea. But if you're just laying baskets all around your house, then they're all catch-all baskets, and it just becomes kind of a mess and more work for you. Number 8 is what I was also talking about with my clothes, is that I am getting rid of extra shoes that I have, and along the way, I was always getting rid of extra shoes. Along with clothes, I had tons of shoes, and it was definitely a problem that, especially those boots that are really big and clunky, and I just wouldn't wear them but like maybe twice during the fall. And so really reassessing if you have a pair of shoes that are multi-purpose, like I have a pair of winter boots that I can also wear in the rain because they're waterproof, and that I also like wearing when I go hiking. So trying to find shoes that can be multi-purpose, I think will really help you to cut down on all those excess shoes that you have. And so you don't have to have a specific shoe for every function. Number 9 is all the extra bathroom stuff. I've talked about this in other videos, but we each have 2 sets of sheets, 2 sheets for my daughter's room, 2 sheets for our room, and that's really all I have found that I needed. And it's been over a year now that we've had that, and there has been no issue. So I think at first I was kind of nervous about it because I'm just so used to closets being full of sheets and towels and everything. But we actually only really have 1 set of sheets for our pillowcases, and it's still been fine and everything has been good. So I think just finding where your family can have a happy medium and being able to let go of some of the rest, and also taking the risk of it might not work out, and maybe put it away somewhere else and see if it works out for you for a little while. And if it does, then you can be ready to let it go. But getting rid of all those extra towels and extra sheets really lightens up your laundry load for sure, and also just the amount of things you have to be folding and putting away and trying to stuff into that closet. The last thing, guys, is your extra blankets and comforters. And that is something that I also really struggled with, but it was one of the last things that I got rid of, was all those extra blankets. And I think personally, I was so worried about having guests over and not having enough blankets. But really, it's been fine. We don't have a constant rotation of people coming in. And even when I did have some friends staying, I had a friend stay from Germany, and it was fine. She slept on the couch. We gave her our 1 extra sheet for the couch, and we had some throw blankets that we keep downstairs for our couch, and it was warm enough. So I think we've kind of lived through that, and so I just realized that I don't need to keep all these extra big blankets and comforters. And we are lucky enough that if we really need it, we can go get it again. But it's one of those things that we haven't needed it, and I'm really happy that we let that go, because it was a huge space saver to get rid of it all. So if you've enjoyed this video about decluttering and hopefully learning some tips on minimizing your life, then just remember to hit that subscribe button and you will get more videos from me. And I really appreciated all the love and comments that I've been getting from you guys, and I hope to see you guys next week.